The big question we all need an answer to is, once we have Klukai, is it absolutely necessary to get the rest of her team in order for her to shine? Now, in a perfect world, we would be given time to save for each member of the team, but we've been thrown a curveball in the form of MECHTY, who has been confirmed to be the next doll after Klukai, preceding the 3 that were announced simultaneously during the Exilium broadcast. If you haven't seen that, there will be a video at the end for you to catch up on anything you missed. I'm Shrike, subscribe for more gacha content, let's dive in. So MECHTY is being called Klukai's best friend, and not just for lore reasons. Supposedly her kit synergizes very well with her, but in this video I'll lay out exactly what she does, how it will affect Klukai's performance, and maybe help us determine if she's necessary or not. Spoiler alert, I hope she isn't, since A, her character is super annoying, and B, Vector is coming and we really need a save for her. Assault Rifle user, Corrosion element, support role. So I usually skip the basic attack on these, but hers actually gets a buff due to her ultimate. When she uses her ultimate, she enters a battle mode for 3 turns, and while in this mode, her basic skill damage is changed to Corrosion. Stability damage is raised to 2, and she gains 1 Confectance Index. Other than that, it's just your typical basic. Active Skill 1. You target an enemy and it deals a burst AoE to that target and enemies in the adjacent tiles. Battle Mode Upgrade gives her movement up 2 for a turn and generates a toxic tile in the area it affected. The zone lasts 2 turns. This is exactly what it sounds like. It gives the enemies in it a corrosion weakness, and they take damage at the end of their turn equal to 50% of MECHTY's attack. And it also inflicts them with stability loss 1 for 2 turns. Much better in battle mode, kind of underwhelming in patch mode, which is her standby mode. Active Skill 2. Here's the support part of her kit finally. This is a self-targeting ability, restores 6 points of stability index and cleanses all her debuffs. Seems selfish, but then applies Dream Guardian to all allies within 8 tiles for 2 turns. This buff increases AoE damage dealt by support attacks by 30%, which seems restrictive. In battle mode, she can also cast Explosive Dreamtide, her AoE first skill, remember? Or her basic attack afterwards. And then she gains a stack of Sleep Kit, which increases her damage dealt by 10% up to 2 stacks. The ultimate, finally. Using it puts her into battle mode, as I mentioned, for 3 turns, but it also applies a Nightmare Shield to all allies, which sounds a lot cooler than it is. It basically just reduces the damage they take and cleanses some debuffs. And then she applies a Toxic Cloud to the nearest enemy. This one just flat out increases corrosion damage the target takes by 25%. This would be huge for the corrosion team, but remember, you're not popping your ult every turn. Her passive says, at the start of the battle, enter patch mode, obviously, and then applies Nightmare to all allies. This increases AoE damage by 10%, AoE damage from support attacks by 50%, and converts that support damage to corrosion. It's clear that she's really going to want support damage on her team, specifically AoE corrosion supports, which at the moment is only Peritya. She will still amplify Klukai's performance, but not nearly to the degree that she will for Peritya. So if we look at MECHTY as a whole, it's pretty clear that she's going to be a good support, but rather niche when it comes to team comps. She really only wants to be in that corrosion team. And if you don't have Peritya, I'm not sure she's even worth it then. I would call her a must-pull only if you plan to go heavy into the corrosion team. And even if you don't have Peritya yet, you can always set the standard banner to her and you'll eventually get her. But if you just want Klukai to be part of a general team, a good stuff team if you will, I think you can leave out MECHTY. I personally will be skipping her, even though I find her kit really unique and interesting. Part of the reason for that is because I don't have Peritya, but also I plan to get Xiaohui and Vector, the former for waifuness and the latter for meta, so I really can't afford to grab her, especially if Klukai plays hard to get. But with that being said, I'm gonna fly, see you in the next one, bye.